Donald Trump has finally posted the proof of 2020 election fraud. This on his platform Truth Social.
Truth Central.
Posting a PDF yesterday along with the message, quote, summary of election fraud in the 2020 presidential election in the swing states. I am pleased to share a report that is fully verified. Most of the information was gotten from government sources, tapes, and other public records, and compiled by the most highly qualified election experts in the capital C country. These numbers are determinative and in all cases are hundreds of thousands of votes per swing state, more than I needed to win that state. If the Republican Senate does not step forward and address this atrocity, it will happen again and be virtually impossible for Republicans to win elections in the future. Now, we're going to get to the proof, but Trump continued, adding, remember, I was not campaigning. The 2020 election was long over. What I was doing is bringing to light the fact that the election was without question rigged and stolen with a capital S. As president and commander in chief, it was my duty to do so. If I did not do this, I would have been in violation of my oath of office and the take care clause, which requires the president to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Therefore, I am entitled to total immunity because that is exactly what I was doing, taking care with a capital C of our capital C country, guarding it with a capital G from capital R rigged and capital S stolen elections. Why these capitals, we will never know. All right, listen, let's skip page 3 and go right to the report. I've reviewed the document and it is complete and utter BS. I don't know any other way to say it. You can look up this document on your own. 32 pages is really not that long, but just about every line contains a lie. So let's look at an example claim. The document claims that in Fulton County, Georgia, quote, the second machine count was over 17,000 votes short. Fulton County was instructed to reconcile the results by the Secretary of State and recertified its results without divulging the extent of the vote deficiency to members of the Fulton County Board of Registrations and Elections. This is one of their smoking gun bullet points of proof. Now, they cite a source. Well, listen, if you want to do this seriously, just follow it through. Okay, so here's a bullet point with an allegation about a machine being 17,000 votes short. We look at the source. The source is another document. Okay, this document is merely a letter. This letter is a complaint letter written in July of 2022. Remember, this is their proof. It's nearly 2 years after the election, and it's a complaint submitted to the election board, which includes conjecture, it includes opinion, it includes out of context screenshots, but it includes absolutely no proof of the underlying matter, that a 17,000 vote discrepancy was just reconciled despite the numbers being, as they are alleging, completely wrong. This would sort of be like, imagine I file a lawsuit, right? Like, imagine I thought Sam Cedar stole my set, right? And I file a lawsuit and I go, Sam Cedar stole my set and he put up a camera in my studio so he could actually preview what my set looked like. And then he had it manufactured so that he could deploy a copy of my set before I even did to then claim I stole his set. Like, imagine I filed such a lawsuit. And then later, a report comes out and says, hey, we have proof that Sam Cedar stole David Pakman's set. What's the proof? The proof is David's lawsuit. Well, hold on a second. My lawsuit's not proof. My lawsuit is the allegations. How could it possibly be the proof? That's what most of these sources amount to. And if you read through the 32 pages, there are countless other examples. The document says about 43,000 Dropbox ballots in DeKalb County and 59,000 in Fulton County violated chain of custody requirements and weren't transported in the right way to the registrar. However, those claims were investigated and they were found to be unsubstantiated. They make the allegation and they point to, hey, here's someone who made this complaint, but the complaint was investigated and it was found lacking any kind of substance. They make claims about so-called QR code mismatches in Dominion voting machines in 65 of 67 Georgia counties. The problem is that state and federal authorities investigated that claim and found it completely without merit. I could go on, okay? This is not proof of anything. And if anything, this tells us if this is the best they've got, we can feel really confident that this election was not actually stolen, regardless of how many times Donald Trump says it. And one last thought on this as well. If this so-called proof was actually compelling, some court would have found it compelling and meritorious back when they were trying to litigate this. Now, you could say, well, they hadn't had time to gather all of this stuff. Most of these allegations, if you actually look back, there are pre-existing or similar allegations from around the time that they were trying to litigate this. It is true. They've come up with some new doozies since. But if even a fraction of this stuff was true, you would think that at least some court would have found it with merit. Finally, the smoking gun proof, and there is nothing there. But the Trumpists don't care. It's a PDF, guys. I mean, PDFs look official. You type it into your browser and it downloads a file. It's much more official than just a website. It turns out that at the end of the day, it's just nonsense. Using the internet without a VPN can open you up to all sorts of issues. Hackers have more access to your data, including your finances. Without a VPN, your activity can be logged and monitored by your internet service provider, by advertising companies, and then that data can be sold, which means your personal browsing data is floating around out there. You should use a VPN. That helps make you anonymous online. It encrypts your internet activity. The VPN I've been using for years is Private Internet Access. Our sponsor, Private Internet Access, is the VPN that people trust because it's the only VPN that has proven multiple times in court that they do not log user activity. People also love Private Internet Access because it's fast. If you're streaming movies, downloading large files, it works great. You can use Private Internet Access on unlimited devices with just one account. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, 24/7 customer support. It's a service you can count on. Private Internet Access is giving my audience a huge 83% discount. You can subscribe for $203 per month and get 4 extra months for free. Go to piavpn.com/Pacman. The link is down below.